Hello Internet's Earthbound Whisper here. Today I want to talk to you guys about a corner of the internet known as Gaia Online. Anyone at Gaia probably knows what I'm going to talk about, but the rest of the internet I feel deserve a heads up on pretty much a business using gamification horribly wrong. So, bit of backstory for people who don't know. 2003, there's a small website, avatars, you could roleplay, fish, little forum community. It was kind of fun, so I joined up. And over the years, lots of cool stuff's added. NPCs, manga, story, its popularity grew and it got big. It made some massive mistakes along the way, but it also had some really good high points. At one point there was 1 million people online at one time, and they had some really fun events, water fights, alien invasions. It was basically its own little world, and it was pretty fun. So we fast forward to today. Oh, Gaia. Now, we all get you're a business, but seriously. So, Gaia's basic mode of advertising is word of mouth. So, for a word of mouth site, you'd think they'd rely on users telling their friends, this is a cool site, come check it out. Fair enough. But, yeah, how can you tell people a site is cool if everything is broken? As far as I know, most of the core features of this site have not been fixed since 2004. I mean, 2004. Seriously. Duh. So yeah, what's the situation at the moment that's got most of us quite so vexed? Well, as it stands, the CEO, we are not allowed to mention him by name because users are being banned. I mean, really. When the CEO of a company becomes pretty much Lord Voldemort, that's when you know that as a business you have screwed up. So people are being banned. That's just childish. That's just childish, Gaia. I mean, seriously. Why? Why ban someone for critiquing your screw-ups? Hell, I may even be banned for making this video if they could link it back to my account. Just gah. So yeah, why is the population of Gaia so upset? Well, my dear internet, there's an item on Gaia called Flynn's Booty and Flynn's Chest. Yeah, childish smut, woohoo. I love a good smutty joke as much as the next person, but it gets a little old after a while. So, what's this item done to piss us off so much? Okay, well, the main currency of Gaia is pretty much gold. You get gold for posting, you get gold for doing stuff, you get gold for pretty much sneezing on Gaia. But it releases it at a steady rate, so the marketplace that's user run tends to be fairly stable. You always have idiots that ramp up the prices, but most people have enough common sense not to buy a scrap item for 1,000 million gold. Until Flynn's booty. What this item is a gold generator. So it spits out gold. And I'm not just talking like 100 gold. It spits out gold in the millions. And the millions. And they keep releasing this item so much so that they have effectively crashed their own economy. The marketplace is ridiculous. Nobody can buy anything. And everyone is asking them, begging them, pleading with them, yelling at them to stop releasing these goddamn items. But no, they're not listening. Because gamification. Hooray. Jim Sterling actually covers it really well in some of his videos. I'm going to put a link in the doobly-doo because he pretty much nails it, and I'm probably going to link a couple Game Exchange episodes of gamification done wrong, because it pretty much sums up what I mean by gamification. And they're applying it to this site, and it's just screwing everything up. So you can buy these for real money or Gaia cash, which it's just a disaster. They've crashed their own economy, and at one point they were so concerned about their own economy they actually hired an economist. You know, that was a step in the right direction. The main reason that they've crashed their economy is because there's nothing that I would call a gold sink. There's nothing to spend your money on, because items in the gold shop hardly ever get released anymore because there's no money in it. But instead of making a nice stable profit, they are charging, and I shit you not, internet, they are charging $50 for a recoloured pixel item. I mean, it's more value for money to buy an epic mount on the Warcraft store. I mean, at least you can ride the damn thing. All you can do with this $50 recoloured pixelated item is wear it. Wow. Amazing. And that's not even the worst of it. The $50 is about the standard now. Considering that when they first introduced this shop for real money, they said it was all going to be items for pocket change, you know, $2 for an item, which, yeah, great. I mean, I'm from the UK, so it costs me even less, but $2 is, you know, fairly reasonable for, I'm bored, I have spare money, $2 for a pixel, yeah, fair enough. But $50, the worst one was that there's a really rare item called an Angelic Halo. It was the first ever item given when, I think it was back in 2004 maybe? May have even been 2003, but Gaia got into trouble and they needed funding. So they said, look, if anyone donates to us to keep us running, help, we're in trouble. And loads of people donated, and at the end of this donation drive they went, to thank all of you, we're giving you an Angelic Halo because we couldn't have stayed afloat without you. That was really nice. And then from then on, monthly, they released donation items, which, really nice, cool. You got a cool little item for, I don't know, $2.50. Perfect. Wonderful. Now they re-released this Angelic Halo, the symbol of donation. I can't, it's funny, I can't even believe, for $1,000, 1,000, not 100, $1,000. I mean, that is mind-blowing. That's not even, who has that kind of pocket change? That could feed people for months. Oh, it's crazy. But it doesn't even stop there. The site is constantly pushing for cash. And I mean constantly. I logged on a while ago just to see if they'd actually listened to the population and stopped shoving announcements regularly in people's faces going, ooh, there's cash, there's cash, there's cash. Yeah, I had 7 announcements within one day that were all related to real money. And, I mean, 11 is the maximum I've ever had in one day related to money. It is crazy. Oh, but the screw-ups don't even end there. Aside from the whole money issue and the gamification, that they're treating everyone like whales, which is dev language for people with bottomless wallets. They recently released a survey to gather data for their sister site, which, by the way, I've looked at and it's a disgrace. It's an over 18 site. It's called Tentacle. And as the name sounds, it's pretty much a really immature, sad excuse for borderline porn. It's just nasty. And, just no. Just no. But anyway, they released this survey, and oh my god, they have no quality control, and if they do, they should be fired, because they actually had fat as fat ass for the large body type. I mean, fat as fat ass. That's just insulting. And, yeah, they did eventually issue an apology, but their apologies lately have pretty much sounded like, yes, we acknowledge that you're angry, we get that, but actually it's all your fault, and we're a business, so we need money, so shush. That is their apology. It's disingenuous bollocks. Disingenuous bollocks. Even if the staff member thought it was funny, I mean, seriously, does no one vet these things? Just raw. And that's not even the worst of their staff screw-ups lately. Their staff are hostile, rude, and just they keep closing down negative feedback threads. I mean, I'm gonna put up some of the feedback in this video, but just some of the feedback they've received is, you know, users have said that it just feels like a kick in the face, because people have been supporting these, you know, this business, this community of creators from the very get-go, giving their hard-earned money, and they now feel ripped off because all it's turned into is a cesspit of money grubbers that just view the general population as cash cows. And if you say that they're treating you like a cash cow, you get the privilege of a staff member having a go at you, which is just wrong. The site has turned into a childish dictatorship with the CEO who must not be named. I mean, just what are you doing? This isn't a way to run a business, Gaia. And they even had the cheek. I mean, they actually had the cheek to do a Kickstarter for one of their products. This is a business that is charging $1,000 for a limited edition, which isn't even that limited because they release it all the time, item, doing a Kickstarter. So I'm sorry, your overheads are not that much. These, whoever the hell they are buying your overpriced crap, You are raking in money. You do not need a Kickstarter. Oh, seriously. If they actually focused on making the site good, because the site hasn't been fixed. They won't even, they released a statement, they won't even update their guild system because they can't monetize it. I could think of loads of ways to monetize their guild system. People have suggested brilliant ways to monetize their guild system, but they're not interested in it because it's a stable trickle of monetization. It's money coming in on a fairly regular basis, but not very high amounts. But it would be sustainable. But no, they're not interested, because the CEO wants to make as much physical money as he can before running the site into the ground. It's insane. And I just can't stay quiet about it anymore. I think the internet needs to know what is going on. I mean, the games industry and gamers, we're slowly getting the idea of what's happening to the games industry and why we're getting all these really bad free-to-play games that are just give us your money or get bored. But it's happening in other places. This gamification, this idea of the whales, the bottomless wallet people supporting your business. This is pervasive shit. This is getting everywhere. People really need to be aware of this. Stuff like, you know, like Jim Sterling points out, like Clash of Clans and stuff. It's pervasive stuff. This idea that you can literally rake as much money from people before crashing a property into the ground is becoming paramount over actually delivering good experiences. You know, when I started, Gaia Online used to be its own world. You can maybe hear the music in the background. It was fun. It wasn't anything amazing, but even their MMO, which they shelved because there wasn't enough money in it, even though the fans of the MMO actually clubbed together and donated a butt ton of money. And even one of the staff who got fired for telling us this told us that, yeah, we had raised enough money as a community to save the game from being shelved, but they said we hadn't. So he got fired for telling us the truth. And I mean, seriously, you know, they've shelved a perfectly good MMO. I mean, yeah, it's not Warcraft level, but for a free-to-play browser-based MMO, it's actually kind of fun, and it still keeps getting in top 10 browser-based MMO rankings on websites and stuff. So there's so much good intellectual property they have that they're just not making sustainable. I actually personally had a dev say to me that he was really, really sorry he couldn't fix my issue because nobody knew how to do the coding. And this was an issue with the cars feature. You get little cars, you can drive them in a game, and I bought a spaceship and I wanted to like paint it and stuff, and it just wasn't working. The garage place wasn't working. And so I said, look, I've got this issue, please fix it, help. And the dev had to apologise to me that nobody could fix my error. So that's another piece of the site that hasn't been fixed pretty much since its implementation. I mean, that's kind of a vaguely core feature of the site. The housing system very rarely gets an update, and that would be considered a core feature of the site. Their inventory arranger has been due for an update since 2007. They've been promising one, and it's just not happening because there's no money in it for them. And I've got nothing against free to play if it's done well. You know, Guild Wars 2, I have never ever felt bad about giving Guild Wars my money, because all of their core stuff, their free core stuff, works. It all works, it all looks good, and their money has never felt like a rip-off. It's just felt like, ooh, I will buy myself something extra because I can, and the game is good, and why not support them? That is free to play done right. Hell, even the WoW, it's never felt wrong to go, meh, I have some money left over, I want to buy a shiny dragon to ride, because there's actual value in it. I can actually do something other than just look at it. You know, I can ride the thing. If you're gonna charge money for pure cosmetic dress-up items, $50 is not... it's just not reasonable. It's not even sane. You know, I don't think anyone in this day and age would have a problem with spending maybe $5 or pounds, if anyone is in the UK watching, wondering why someone from the UK is constantly talking about dollars. But I don't think anyone would have a problem with that, because, you know, $5 and below, it's pocket change. You're supporting something that you personally enjoy. But this free-to-play culture is just crazy, and it is ruining things. Perfectly good games, perfectly good intellectual properties are being driven into the floor. But yeah, that's my 2 cents on the issue. Hopefully, by making the entire internet aware of what's going on at Gaia, I will link Gaia in the doobly-doo. Just go over there, check it out, see the potential that they're wasting. Maybe somebody with actual business sense who doesn't want to become Lord Voldemort could buy them out or something. 'Cause seriously, it makes me so sad that such good intellectual property is just going to waste. It's being run into the ground for the sake of a quick profit, when, to be fair, if they did gamification sustainably, they pretty much could make a good profit. Fair enough, not the ridiculous amounts of money they're making now, but they could make enough to run and have a healthy bonus at the end of the month for pretty much ever, if they just made it sustainable. That's my 2 cents anyway. Thank you for anyone if you've actually listened this far. And yeah, thanks internets.